We're giving you advice knowing that it's crazy.
I'm allowing my crazy side to talk on the microphone today.
It's strategically great idea. Is it 100% crazy? Yeah, let's put a crazy stamp on it because it's f***ing nuts.
Greetings, Earthlings. How you doing? Where you been? Welcome to another episode of Guys We Fcked.
It's the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show.
Are you in New York City? Well, I hope by the time you're hearing this, we've already sold it the fuck out. We are recording this a week in advance. But if we haven't sold it the fuck out, we'll be sad. But also, come. New York City, Friday, September 8th at 9:30 p.m. Corinne and I are taking the stage together for an hour and a half of comedic debauchery. It's Guys We Fcked live at the Midnight Theater. This is going to be potentially the first of a residency, but we got to sell it out. So buy tickets. There was only a couple tickets left last 20 minutes ago when we recorded last week's intro. So if it's not sold out, make sure to help us.
Yeah, really. Sold out.
Yeah. And if you want to email us, as always, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. This subject line reads, husband secretly posts dick pics online.
Yes, King.
Hi, Corinne and Krystyna. And Mike. Love to you both. Can't wait to hear what you think about this. A few days ago, I discovered that my husband posted dick pics on a bisexual adult site, and I can't figure out how to feel about it. We are 26 and 33 years old and have been married for 4 years now. Our sex life is great, even though I definitely wish he had more sex, but his libido is just naturally lower than mine. Well, not low enough to not want to post pics online of his dick.
Yeah, he's like, that's enough pussy for me.
Yeah.
I'm full on the pussy.
We are super open with each other and talk about our desires and fantasies frequently. Not that one. We are not scared to push each other's boundaries and try out new things in the bedroom. That's nice. Some things we have tried are golden showers, threesomes with women, and various exciting locations. Nice. You got a good little sexual thing going on. He isn't interested in doing any anal play on me, and honestly seems to be scared of my butthole. But at the same, he might, because he's like, am I gonna like this too much? On the other side, he has learned to love anal play on him the last few years. Good man.
He's gay.
No, he has a treasure. Every man has a prostate that can be stimulated.
But there is a little alarm went off when he's not at all interested in anal play with her.
I've never met a straight man that was not interested in my asshole at some point. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. This is something, okay, so on the other side, he has learned to love anal play on him the past few years. This is something he had never tried before, but I opened him up, pun intended, to the possibility, and I actually just love to pleasure him and see what it does to him. Totally, I hear you, girl. He is a super manly straight dude, and it took some time for him to get around. But is that a wall?
Yeah,
to cover his.
Someone's in cosplay.
But now he frequently asks for butt plugs. I love eating his ass. I know I'm not very feminist of me. I don't think that's not feminist of you at all. I like eating ass and I'm a feminist. And he really enjoys it. I have tried putting a finger up there and finding his prostate, but he doesn't love it or is too shy to try. Just ass eating and butt plugs for him. I am bisexual and love sleeping with women, but I said I'm not going to do another threesome with another woman unless we are going to have a thresome with another man first. Got to keep it fair, you know?
Seems like he'd be into that.
He might. He is super against it. What I respect and says he would be too jealous. And even though I said he, of course, wouldn't have to do anything with the other man, he says another man would just turn him off. He says he is 200% straight.
Oh,
that
gay.
Sounds kind of gay.
It's the gayest thing I've ever heard.
That's pretty gay.
Straight men don't. Yes.
No straight guy
That's right.
puts a percentage of.
I'm
they just say I'm straight.
Infinity straight.
Sister.
Yeah, it's gay.
I'm infinity straight.
Oh dear, you're in a pickle, ma'am.
I love making out with women, but he is not comfortable with me doing that without him being involved. Jesus.
Again, this is
He's gay and he doesn't want you to be gay.
He's like, what are you gals doing
You don't
over
get
here?
to be gay if I don't get to be gay.
What are the gals doing? Just a kissing circle? Count me in.
I love making out with women.
Count me in. I'm not no queen.
Okay, I love making out with other women, but he's not comfortable with me doing that without him being involved. What I think is silly, but also he understands that I'm bisexual. I'm very sex positive and have a lot of gay friends that I've mentioned to him before that I love bi men. I find it hot, if anything. So what I'm saying is that he's in a position where he knows he can explore his sexuality freely with no judgment.
Yeah, but sometimes that makes it boring. If you're still in the discovery phase for yourself, right? You know, people always write us like, I would be so understanding, but it's like, number one, maybe he's still on this journey himself. And then number two, it's like, sometimes what makes something interesting is the secrecy of it. And so maybe he doesn't want to just like fucking come out to this woman that he's been married to and be like, oh, you know.
He doesn't want to ruin his own bisexuality.
Yeah. It's like we get that sentiment a lot in emails. Like, why didn't you just tell me? It's like, lay off.
That's a good point. I would certainly be, if I was on the receiving end of that, I would be like, what the fuck? But I get it. There's things that I don't tell my partner. But that's because
but also you tend to be more like over communicative and like I, for me, really value like things that I'm just keep secret, and I'm not hiding anything.
No, it's
but
just
I just need something for me.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Especially being in this business. But yeah.
Last week, I was using his iPad to do something for work.
Oh God.
I am free to use it just like he is free to use my laptop if he needs it. I don't keep anything private on there. That's because you don't have anything fun to find. His iPad seems to be connected to his iPhone through the Apple account.
I bet it is.
I was Googling something and then thought it was embarrassing, so I went to delete it in the history. What were you fucking Googling? Is my husband gay? That's when I discovered that I can see his whole history. Right at the top.
You discovered that? Everyone knows that, lady.
You're not Christopher Columbus.
There's a history.
Well, no, you are Christopher Columbus. You went in there. You knew what you were doing. Fuck off.
Also, who opts to use an iPad for work over a laptop? A laptop's way easier to use.
That's when I discovered I could see his whole history. Right at the top was a bunch of porn, and I didn't click on it, even though it was tempting. What a hero.
Oh, my God.
Right at the top was a bunch of porn. Oh, okay. A website caught my eye, though. So you browsed through the website links. You didn't click on them, but you read the URLs. Because it said he had viewed multiple members and had an account and viewed messages. I didn't click.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, I didn't click on any of that. I mean, at this point, you might as well.
Yeah.
But decided to take a picture of the history to research this website. I mean, just fucking go through his shit. You're already going through his shit. Just go through it.
Yeah.
To research this website later and see what it is about. I'm currently on a trip. So I had some time for myself, and how better to spend it than to play detective? That always goes well. I looked up the website, and it's a site for bisexual adults to connect, exchange photos, and potentially meet up. To view members, you have to have a profile, so naturally I made a fake profile. Of course, yeah. I mean, I would too, honestly.
Yeah.
I found his... Yeah,
you need to.
If you didn't, I'd be pissed at you.
Yeah, you need to at this point.
I found his profile fairly quickly and was shocked when I saw a photo of his dick. I right away recognized it because his pubes and legs and the lighting.
Because it was in my bedroom on my bed.
He was about to put it in me, but he took a picture of it first, and I was like, that's weird, but whatever.
I saw a picture of us.
His profile says he is bi-curious, and looking to swap pics and fantasies. Okay. I really don't know how to feel about this. Yeah. Got you, girl. I do feel like it's crossing a boundary because we have talked about potentially opening up our relationship for a limited time when we are out of town. But after thinking more about it, he said he is strongly against it and doesn't think that's something he wants to do.
Yeah, he wanted to toss it on the table and then open it up only on his end.
I also feel weird about it because he isn't talking to online sex workers here. I wouldn't have a problem with that, as people on OnlyFans, for example, are getting paid to do this, and it's literally their job, right?
Agree.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But on the site, it's clearly normal people. You're right. That does up the ante.
Oh, for sure.
It's a dating site. It does up the ante.
If my boyfriend was engaging with sex workers, I would be like, no problem. Just like, don't let the whole internet see, because it's like at a certain point you get like it's too much, But I was like, regular people, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I am professionals.
I am not on the internet sending people nudes and sexting. I know for sure my husband wouldn't be happy if he found out I did. I also don't understand why he hasn't opened up to me about potentially wanting to explore this more. Again, he could certainly keep that to himself, though. When I literally offered that he could do so. I guess secrets are more sexy. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
On the other hand.
Yeah, there's also something parental about like when someone is discovering their sexuality in a relationship, and like we see it's always the woman.
We feel like we
this.
own our sexual partners sometimes, and we just really don't.
The woman's always like, "Why didn't you like, honey?" It feels like, "Why? Mommy, make you a sandwich." Like every time I hear that, like that energy come out of an email, it turns me off. Like, and again, just treat me like the man on the show.
I guess secrets are more sexy. On the other hand, I am aware that some fantasies are just that, fantasies. I definitely watch porn that I wouldn't be into in real life, but sometimes when you are horny, lots of weird shit can be a turn on. Amen, sister. Naturally, I messaged him. Oh, naturally, I messaged
now
him
you're
from my
playing with
fake
fire.
profile. Now you got to talk to him, girl.
You're playing with fire now.
I messaged him.
Anything but talking to this person is what I feel like women will do.
And men.
Will not be
men.
direct.
Yeah.
Let me make a fake account.
No.
Well, I mean, this one is like a this could be
she's
a
trying to set him up.
huge. This is like could be a huge bomb drop though. Like, you know.
Yeah. Naturally, I messaged him from my fake profile with intention of finding out if he was interested in meeting in person. Nothing yet. He hasn't been online, so maybe this was just a spur of the moment horny thing.
Oh my God, so funny if your husband's not attracted to your fake online profile.
That blows.
Yeah.
What
He's
is
not
this,
even
a
attracted to a fake
lady?
version of you.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to bring this up to him because I'm not sure he did anything wrong. And I don't want him to feel like I invaded his privacy. So I'm just going to tell the whole internet instead. I would love your input and especially Mike's perspective as a man. Love from Canada. Wow. I mean, I would flip my fucking lid depending on if our sex life was good. Then I would go,
This is so funny.
hey, everybody's got their fantasies. You gotta keep something secret. I don't own you sexually. But if I was unsatisfied with our sex life and you said his libido is not as strong as yours, doesn't seem to be what's fucking happening here. Again, I guess it is possible that the time that you saw these things happen on his browser history, that could have been the only day he was ever on this website. Absolutely, that is potentially true. I feel like it's not.
Right.
It would bother me if I tried to have sex with this person as my partner and he was saying no and then going to do that. I'll never talk to you again. But that's not rational. That's just what I would do. Like, I just know myself. That would send me through the roof. Absolutely not.
So what I would do is I would be on the iPad and then I would yell into the other room, "Hey, queer." And then,
and then if he comes, he's guilty.
I would say, "You got something to tell me?" No. Sorry, you have more that you wanted to add?
No, it was just more diving deeper into my irrational response, which is, we don't need that.
I think this is hard. I don't know like how you have taken it this far and now you're not going to bring it up. Because
You gotta bring it up.
I don't know how that wouldn't affect the day-to-day of your relationship. He might like it's I mean, just like if your husband might be bisexual, like that's just information I think you need to know.
Yeah.
Especially if he's actively pursuing it,
and so
not
his
like
actions,
a latent by sexuality,
right? And his action, like what he's saying to you, how he feels, is very clearly not true, right? So I would just fess up and say, "Hey, dude, I have a confession to make. I went to look. We use each other's technology. First of all, I really want to know what you Googled, but just say I Googled something and I was like, this is embarrassing. I don't want it to pop up on your history. I went to clear the history. Although I don't know that I'd buy that, but okay. And I saw this, and instead of talking to you about it, I just made a fake profile and tried to fuck with you. And I'm realizing that wasn't the mature route, so I just want to talk to you about it. I'm really sorry for invading your privacy.
But it's also weird that because it kind of came up without her initially invading his privacy. And it's weird that you would leave that up if it's known that you guys share computers and iPads, or if that's just a rule that you made that, because in the way she describes it in the email, she's kind of like, well, it's obvious what's mine is his and what's his is mine. But I'm like,
not
was
really.
that okayed?
And also that shouldn't be the case.
It's weird. I think it's weird to share laptops. I mean,
I would never share a laptop.
Yeah. And if you are, then you definitely should be, or I guess another thing is like, maybe he, sometimes when you feel guilty about something, you kind of want to get caught. It could be, it could be that.
Yeah.
But the thing that concerns me, and like, yeah, I would have no problem if like the person I was dating was like, you know what, honestly, I'm bisexual. I would have problems with them like going behind my back and like acting on it, but I would understand if it was like only with men, I suppose, if they were just trying to figure it out. I would be more understanding because it was like another like facet of their sexuality that they were trying to explore. But what worries me here is like that he knows how open you are to him being bisexual. You yourself are bisexual.
You said you think it was hot and you communicated that to him?
Yeah. To me, it seemed, I feel like so many people, I've heard this story 1,000 times, especially with men because of how society treats male homosexuality, is that I truly think he might be gay, and
sometimes bisexuality is the bridge.
Exactly. He's starting by dipping his toe into bisexuality because that feels less scary to admit to yourself that you're bisexual. From a male perspective, what I'm thinking, obviously nothing wrong with any of this, but there's just a lot of red flags within this email.
I sense a deep fear on his end. And I'm like, if you're bi, that's nothing to... Like, if you're gay, that's nothing to fear also. But I'm like, if he's living a lie, and that's the thing, because nothing wrong with being gay. There is something wrong with deception, deceiving your partner and walking into a relationship and a marriage without getting to know who the fuck you are first.
Yeah, like saying I'm 200% straight honestly sounds downright homophobic. Like at this point in time, like I mean,
it sounds very defensive.
Like my friend, the Christian comedian, he literally did a bit about how he's like, 93% straight or something. And I thought that was like honestly groundbreaking for someone who has pretty much an exclusively Christian audience. Yeah. So if he is able to say that, then this, just
something's up.
And I know it's like a trope on this podcast. I think everyone's gay, but I don't know.
Everyone's gay and they should break up.
Right. Yeah. Michael, what do you think?
About which part?
The whole email.
What stood out to you? Because she wants to know what you think.
For you, yeah.
I think it is. We've kind of dealt with the topic of snooping a lot on this podcast, which I always think is interesting because I think that when it comes to getting this information and doing something with it, I don't understand how anybody could think that the best scenario isn't to just be like, look what I found. I'm sorry. I was snooping. And we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is a serious violation.
Well, when it's a huge thing like this, yes. If it's a little thing, then who
like
cares?
She's doing this thing where she's like making profiles and like trying to like get like catch
you
him in a
can kind
trap.
of get it.
It's
I
like
think she kind of
just
got
wasting time.
Yeah, but you kind of get like addicted to the wrong for snooping for the wrong reasons in terms of like it's almost like you're addicted to not being caught, so you want to see how far you can go. You're not addicted to finding the truth necessarily.
It's fine.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think you also want to be like, oh, I must be mistaken
for sure, right?
Because this is going to be bad news for her, in some way.
Sure.
Even if he's just bisexual, I mean, you'll still feel deceit from the hiding.
Also, too, there might be a fear on her end. I don't mean to plant this in you, writer, but this would be my fear of like he's not going to be honest with me.
Yeah.
And he's just going to say I'm bi-curious, like his profile says, and not actually be honest. What if one of those messages was him talking about how he wanted to get railed by a dude?
Right.
To me, I would say that's a little less bi-curious.
Krystyna, the violation is not that he's bisexual. The violation is that he's on these sites doing this stuff without her knowledge.
Right, because they're
like,
still
that's the issue.
Right, but is that fucked up?
Because they still at this time have agreed that they're in a monogamous relationship.
Right.
But would have more
and flirting with real people, not sex workers, is fucked up.
But then that's the thing. Like I truly believe maybe the reason he didn't respond to her is because he's only engaging with men.
Yes.
And I would have more empathy I would still be angry, but I would have more empathy for that because it must be something scary that he's going through. But I would still be angry, and you have every right to be angry.
Yeah, he lied to you.
And another thing I just realized is like just the fact that he just had just a picture of his dick. That's such a male on male thing. Like that only happens on Grindr.
Also, no bisexual woman is going.
No
Let me see
woman
that
is
dong.
responding to just a picture of a guy's dong. Like that is very.
Yeah.
That's Grindr.
two certified
that's Grindr
women.
behavior.
Yeah, you're right.
That just dawned on me.
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
right.
oh,
You're right.
fuck, man.
That's a good point.
So
Wait, did she say what the other pictures
At the end
were?
of the day, if again, it's not about whether or not he's gay or bisexual or straight or whatever. That almost has nothing to do with it. That,
Right,
in my
yeah,
mind,
yeah.
that's like
To me, it's the deception. It's a deception of like you're basically cheating on the internet, but also you are not looking at a part of yourself that is vital to us being together. You are not even looking at it.
But again, that has nothing to do with it in my mind.
But Michael, it is a big deal if the guy is gay. If he's
It is a huge deal.
bisexual, way less of a deal. If
he's gay,
it's a
he fucking married her
Yeah.
and incled her in his whole life.
Of course.
If he's gay, the whole thing. Let's call the whole thing something off.
True.
Okay, but I think
So
that,
it is
like,
a big deal that he's gay. But I know what you're saying. You're saying there's nothing wrong with being gay or being bi.
I just think that
Of course
I
not.
think
There's
we-
nothing
we
wrong
know
with,
that.
But there is wrong. I mean, and this is a stance that I've had for years on this show. There is something wrong with being gay and lying to a woman and saying that you're not gay and marrying her. That's
Correct.
fucked up.
Yeah,
Correct.
right.
That's fucked. I would sue for that.
That's what this
Honestly, you
comes
should
down
be able to.
I think time wasted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time wasted.
If you're gay and that's something that you need to get to the bottom of and figure
It's
it
just
out.
another instance of men taking us on their fucking emotional journey with him, and I will not have it. And gay men are not. You guys are not free from this. It's because the more you think about it and stuff, you're like really the problem really is men. It's not we've whittled it down to straight white men,
I
and
know.
it's really fucking
No,
not.
it is men.
It's
It
really
is
fucking
men.
not.
It is men.
What's happening over there?
It's not every man doing this.
No,
Of course.
No, of
But
course.
what's the thing that all these problems have in common?
Men?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, Michael, what were
We
you saying?
finally worn him down. Great job.
I'm just saying. To me, the issue more is just like whether or not she can. Even if best case scenario here, he's bi, she's okay with that. It's
Yeah.
still a major
They're still
violation.
deceitful.
You're basically this is the same level as being cheated on.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Well,
you don't
I
think
mean,
so?
if it was just a
It's
quick
deception.
exchange of messages.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But then you could say, is flirting on Instagram cheating? On
Yeah,
DM?
I'm fine with that. Please do it. Just leave me alone.
If my boyfriend was flirting on Instagram, I'd just leave him.
Really?
Like if it was really
Really?
ramped up and like when I think of it, it's like if he's pretending he doesn't have a girlfriend and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, pretending you don't have a girlfriend. Yeah, no, that sucks.
Yeah.
But like if it
when
was
I
just,
say like flirting, like being nice or whatever, like that, for me to constitute it as flirting, it has to be like heavy.
oh, like
you know?
sexting?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sexting inappropriate, but if it was like flirty behavior on Instagram,
Yeah.
I'm fine with
Right.
that.
There's a line.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
This crosses it in my mind.
This definitely crosses it too in my mind.
No, it crosses it, but to say it's the same as going out and actually having sex with someone, I can't. No, it's not.
Well, it's
me.
but it's the violation of trust, I think.
But
And that's
I
the
would
thing.
feel
You're in a
I would feel
marriage,
just as
you know?
violated, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
Even though they are not the same things. Not at all.
If
but I
she
would
can
feel
get over it, then that's up to her.
I get
but-
where she's coming from when because I do see what you're saying, Corinne, about like some things that you're just exploring a part of yourself. You know,
need a second.
You need, yeah, for sure. But I could see myself, even though logically I know he needs a second, and because I'm removed, then I'm not dating this person, I'm not married to this person. I could see this, but I know if I was with him, I couldn't see this. I would be so upset that I fucking gave you the freedom to be honest with me and encourage you to be whoever you are,
Sure,
and
sure.
you still didn't do that. Like,
Every time I move on this couch, I'd break something.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Because I'm like,
It's a lot of
I
layers.
see his need for secrecy, I think a little bit more. But I mean, obviously, we're all giving advice from like our own biases of how we
For sure.
are. Obviously, Mike has a little problem with deception. That's revealed in his advice. I have a problem with men, obviously. Interesting. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like you went through the trouble of writing us. You went through the trouble of snooping, and now it's just a little bit odd to me that you're not going to do anything about it, because I do think that
Gotta
this
do
is
something about it.
This is, and it's also like I think like it's a timely issue that needs to be
it
dealt
is.
with.
But what if she communicated to us that she's concerned he wouldn't be honest? Should she then continue to see, like, should she make a profile of a guy and DM him and see what happens?
Ooh, that's a bad idea, but it's a good one.
I know.
Christy
You
just
should
gave,
not
Mike, we're not
do that.
asking you, Mike.
Christina
I'm
just
asking
gave you a
Corinne.
bad good idea. Oh my god.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
because-
like hey tagger.
Hey, it's me, Doug.
Now I'm fascinated. Now I feel like you definitely do.
See, that's where I would go. I'd be like, if I felt like he was going to be truthful,
because that's the information you really need.
Yes.
But the thing is now, like,
because he could so easily be so afraid and think it is easier at this point in my life, even though it's actually not easier, it's harder, but it's going to feel immediately easier to just lie and say, that was a mistake, sorry, I'm not, and not actually ever look into my gayness for the rest of my life, and then one day I'm going to explode.
Yeah.
People are they're going to do the easier option, and that, like, the immediately easier option, and that is the immediately easier option. It's harder to go, you know what? I got to explore this thing with myself. I have to divorce my wife. I have to come to terms with myself. That's more difficult, even though it's paving the way for more happiness. So knowing me, even though it's not what I recommend, I'd redo that fake profile as a dude. And I'd say, let me see that hog.
You guys are
But the thing
unbelievable.
But I don't think I don't know. I don't know this
thing
man though.
is-
He might tell the truth.
if you do that, I would say even if you
You can never
complain
tell.
about the snooping, you cannot say
No, you
say
cannot.
anything
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
fake
You
profiles.
cannot say that. That's so fucking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is
We're
nuts.
giving you advice,
Yeah, it's nuts.
knowing that it's
No,
crazy.
I'm allowing my crazy side to talk on the microphone today.
It's strategically great idea. Is it 100% crazy? Yeah, let's put a crazy stamp on it because it's fucking nuts. But it's the best. It's the strategically the best route. Always good to laugh maniacally after you give someone advice about their whole entire life.
Yeah,
we really
man.
are trying to help you, though.
But here's the thing.
because you need to figure this out, miss. I'm more concerned than you are. It seems.
I am, yeah. But I'm also coming from a place where I feel like I know humanity very well. I understand that, like, and I still talk about having like too much empathy. Even if that was the case and you made a fake profile and you were a guy and he was like, oh yeah, I want to fuck you, let's go. And you're like, oh, he is gay, whatever. I would still have a lot of empathy for this man that you're married to still, because he obviously didn't, it's his job to create an environment where he feels safe enough to explore. He has to boldly pursue his own safety when you're an adult, unfortunately. But I can see him being too scared to do that. Like I can. Like I know men who have dated women for years or married women and then they were gay. I know and I feel for those men. I feel terrible about what masculinity has done to you. You know what I mean?
Like
Like
Glennon Doyle's husband. She did the same thing.
oh shit, that sucks. Damn, she wrote a lot of good
I
books.
actually am so interested in speaking to Glennon Doyle's husband. Ex-husband.
Yeah.
obviously
I
she's
mean, I
with.
know we talked to Kevin Meaney.
Yeah.
About it, who was gay and married to, he was
Well, but
he was
he's the one who did the breaking up. Glennon Doyle's the one who broke up, you know, who she basically went on like I actually read her and Abby Wambach's like meet cute because I was so curious. I was like, how does that even happen? Like they're both famous, but in their own rights. Like how did they even come together? They were like both speaking at a conference or something and then just kind of like washed over them and basically can you
what
imagine
washed over them?
lesbianism? I mean, well, Abby already was, but Glennon wasn't. And can you imagine your wife goes to like speak at a conference and then comes back gay? Great, I'm fascinated by
But
the
if
whole
I was
thing.
also gay, I'd be like, did God just give me a gift?
Right?
Now I don't gotta have this.
He's
awkward.
not gay though.
Oh, he's not gay.
No, that's why I want to talk
I thought
to
you meant
him.
they both were gay.
No, I want to see how he handled that.
I'm like, how convenient is that? That's the best case scenario.
No,
I see.
no,
I see.
Yeah.
But wait, she was gay the whole time though?
Well, I'm not sure how she defines her own sexuality. I haven't
Yeah.
read that much into it, but I don't know if she identifies as bisexual or a lesbian, but
I have
I
talked
mean,
to
she don't like
men-
that guy anymore.
No, she's deep in that muck.
Yeah.
I have talked to men who dated women for a number of years and they are 100% gay. But I did ask that, like, to these two people that I know, I was like, they both communicate to me and I know these people well. So I'm like, I know that they're being honest. They were attracted to the person that they were dating, even though it was a woman.
Interesting.
And they were in love. It was just not, it was
Not the same kind of love?
Yeah. They were attracted to them. They didn't
sure.
it wasn't like I'm so horny for you, I sexually fantasize about you when you're not there kind of stuff. I mean, some straight couples don't have that, but
Right.
you know, and some do. I know gay couples have, but like it wasn't in that, like, so it didn't go to like the farthest length a straight sexual attraction can go, but they were genuinely attracted to the person.
Right. I mean,
So-
I'm on
So
the
it's like the whole
receiving
thing was
end
a
of
lie.
this speech as you're going, going off to the gay pride parade. I still don't know. I'm like, lovely story about how much you loved me, but
Right.
that's not really helping right now.
Right.
Now I gotta tell everyone, oh, my husband's divorcing me, and also he doesn't even like pussy in general.
And he didn't like it the whole time.
No.
That's a bummer.
there's
He
just-
should have to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to shame anybody for anything, but man, lying's a bummer. Lying to yourself and then involving other people in your lies.
Well, I think it's like, but it's different though, because it's like, okay, yeah, no, there's no shame in realizing later in life that you're homosexual, but like, I
Right.
doubt that it just all of a sudden dawned on you. And I feel like if it's like it should be handled like, basically like the way we handle jury voting, like they should be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So you should, like, if you're getting married, you should know that you're straight beyond a reasonable doubt or
Right.
gay beyond a reasonable doubt before you do that, because it's like just not other people's job to come on your little journey with you.
Yeah.
And I speak about, because it's mostly women coming on
getting duped.
men's little journey.
Although
with them.
I've been hearing a lot lately about women going, oh wait, I'm gay.
Well,
and then leaving men that they've been with for years for women and then just like diving into pussy. I'm like,
it's so interesting.
That's happened a lot.
It is so interesting. And I wonder, 'cause to me, that's such a nature versus nurture conversation, because you look around at the changes in society and you go, how can that not be nature a bit? Like, or which is the one, nurture. How can that be nurture? Not be nurture a little bit.
But I think also too, if you grew up in a religious environment where from the jump you were taught that sexuality was a sin, I think your subconscious suppresses your sexuality so hard that you don't even have a chance to think if you're gay or not. You just automatically go straight, because that's what the immediate people around you are not only saying, but they're saying if you're gay, you're evil or wrong or whatever the fuck they fucking say, whatever bullshit they spew. If that's taught to you from an early age, you could not even give yourself the chance to ask yourself if you're gay.
Yeah. I also just do feel like bisexuality is a little bit more like, I think most women are a little more bisexual than most men who identify as straight, right? So I think that if you are truly like feel angry at men, or men have not been giving you what you need, that you can, in a little bit more of a nurture way, test out that the lesbian side of yourself
100%.
in a way that a man, I don't think, can.
Right. And
again, just tossing out some concepts here.
No, it's good. I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, because I see women hand in hand all the time now in the East Village in a way that I just didn't see it before, and I'm like,
sounds more fun.
Something's happening here.
Yeah. Something's also happening on the road. Guys, Las Vegas, Skankfest, September 30th. We're going to be there. Springville, Utah. I'm headlining October 20th and 21st. Bridgeport, Connecticut, November 2nd through 4th. Chicago, Illinois, November 10th and 11th. Nashville, November 12th. And Springfield, Missouri, where you at? Never been to you. It'll be fun. November 16th through the 18th. As always, if you go to patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson, what you're going to get is 3 to 4 Zooms per month for $5 a month until the end of August, where I lead group therapy sessions and we talk about what's on your mind. You could talk about how maybe I'm not a licensed therapist, and I say that up top every time. But maybe you want to kill yourself and you just want to get it off your chest so you're not being weighed down by these thoughts every day. And it's okay. That's an environment that you can kind of like unload. Or you just want to complain about your neighbor being a huge old cunt. Fucking do that too. Or you just want to say that you love this movie you saw. You could say anything. And they're really wonderful. I look forward to them every week. Patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson. And the audio from every Zoom is uploaded, saved and uploaded for you to listen to after.
And of course, you can listen to me on my solo podcast, Without a Country. We discuss politics with a fun and festive flair. We cover everything that you want to cover. We do a lot of animal stuff. Obviously, going into the 2024 election, reintroducing everyone to the wonder that is Donald Trump. I know we forgot about that guy, but he's back, baby, with a vengeance. So let's just hope he keeps wasting all his campaign money on frivolous lawsuits.
Yay.
Or some not so frivolous, some pretty serious. And of course, if you want to see me live, I'll be in Washington, D.C. early 2024. That's February 29th through March 2nd at the D.C. Comedy Loft. The ticket link is already available in the Linktree link in my bio on Instagram. I'm at Philanthropy Gal on Instagram, on X, on Threads, on TikTok, just anywhere you need to get me. And except for Blue Sky, I'm Corinne Fisher on there.
I'm at Krystyna Hutch.
And I'm at Mike Coscarelli.
Good for us.
Good for us.
I'll just do some quick stuff then.
Yeah.
I figured out something I would add to the definition of love.
How did you come to this conclusion?
I do a lot. I give myself every day, I try to give myself at least an hour of time where I'm by myself, outside or inside, somewhere, doing a thing that's kind of menial, like a dumb task that doesn't require my mental focus. And because that gives me a lot of room to think. And I do a lot of my thinking. And I think one of the things that I would define love is, because I still believe that you can love people that aren't kind to you. You can love people that aren't respectful to you. You can love people that are pieces of shit. Truly, I believe that. That's up to you. I don't, do whatever you want. But I think one of the other definitions of love is being happy for somebody just because they're happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like wanting the best for somebody.
But not romantic necessarily, yeah?
No, I'm just doing love in general. Just doing love. Like one of the qualifiers for me of love is I'm happy just because you're happy, or if you get something you want, that brings me joy. Because I was thinking about like all the people that I don't speak to anymore that not only did I love, there were some of the closest people, 4 of the closest people in my life I don't speak to anymore.
Right.
But I still love them, all 4 of them. And if something good happened to them, like in any realm of their life, that would make me so happy. So I'm like, that for me, that's a big part of the definition of love.
Right. I think, I think we danced around that a bit because it was like with forgiveness and like wishing people well and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of it. I also think that but I also think that that's not necessarily 100%. Like it's not across the board. Like, cause I think you can love people and still not be happy. Well, I guess it wouldn't be unconditional though. Are we only talking unconditional now?
I still don't know.
Okay, because I was like, unconditional, yes, that would have to be true. But I was like, there's definitely some people who I consider to love them, and there's some things that would happen for them that I wouldn't be happy for them because they just, I go, this is...
You don't deserve it?
I don't want to make that decision because like I'm not fucking
not
God.
them. Yeah,
but,
right.
I just wouldn't be happy for them in my human my human flawed mortal form.
Yeah,
I would not be happy for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though I love them.
Also, I babysat a baby.
Oh yeah, the one you told me that you were going to do last week.
Yeah, just an hour.
Yeah. So Krystyna had
fresh
1 hour
ass
with
baby.
it.
It was like a 2-month-old. She's 2 months probably or something. She's young,
something like that. Yeah.
She's younger than my friend's baby.
Yeah.
Not by much though, I guess. But 1 month in baby world is a big.
That's a big
leap.
time.
It's a big. It's like totally different body. And she came over. It was our friend and colleague who I love dearly. They also live in my building, so she was like, "Oh, she had asked me the week prior," and I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" It was only for an hour.
That's so funny. I literally thought you asked.
No,
I thought you like send her a text message like, anytime that baby's free.
That feels weird. Hey, let me get hold of that baby.
Please, can I play with your baby?
Can I use your baby as a prop real quick to imagine myself as having a baby? But they both came up with the baby to drop her off. And now Kevin's never met a baby.
Right.
So I Kevin on the leash because I didn't want him to bark because his bark is jarring. He still barked. I held him on his leash and he still barked. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I left the door open so there's no knocking. I really didn't want him to bark because I was like, oh, that baby's going to be freaked out by that bark. And then they laid down this little play pad blankets contraption for the baby, and there was all these toys, and the mom was like, here's a bottle. She just ate, so she probably won't be home, but there's a bottle. And I was like, okay, cool. Laid the baby on it. Baby can't hold up its neck. Baby can't she smiles, but that's about it. She doesn't do much. Yeah.
Right.
And so the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh my God, Kevin was sitting there very nicely and just staring. And I was like, that's really sweet. So I wanted to see how he was with the baby. And he was just like, what the fuck is this kind of thing? And then the baby was like, what's up? Hey. And they told me when they left, like, oh, we've never really left her with somebody she doesn't know. So we'll see how she does. It's only an hour and I'm not a monster. So, the last 50 minutes, when I say screaming at the top of
the last 50?
So after
50?
there was 10 minutes of peace, and then 50 minutes was screaming. Now, and I told myself, I'm like, this baby doesn't know who you are. The mom's not going to be here, so the chances that you're going to be dealing with a screamer the whole time are pretty high. Just think about the poor kid doesn't know where her parents are. So that in itself could make the baby like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
So then the baby's screaming. I'm like, okay, we're going to try stuff. I sat her at the piano. Well, I leaned her against me when I was sitting at the piano trying to play piano. She was interested for that for like 2 seconds and then went back to scream. And I was like, okay. And then Kevin started barking and Kevin started taking her toys. And I'm like, oh, this is fucked up. This is a mess. And Kevin was like taking her playpen thing and dragging it. And I'm like, jeez, it was hilarious. And she was just
And your boyfriend wasn't home?
No, it was just me. I wanted to be alone. That he had a gig or whatever. But I really wanted to see how I would do alone. One of the things that I wanted to see, because I know we talked earlier about this email about how what I would do in that situation versus what I know I should do are two different things.
Sure.
And so I really wanted to see if I kind of historically get really upset with yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
Just because of the household I grew up in. When Kevin barks, it even though I logically know, like, he just wants something. Like, it shuts me
fucking
down.
Annoying, yeah. I don't like yelling. I don't like yelling either, and I didn't even grow up with yelling.
Yeah, and but I know that babies, like, and sometimes I've been in public and I've heard not babies necessarily, but like a toddler scream like bloody murder. I remember I was on the USS Intrepid Museum with my brother and my nephew, and these kids behind us were screaming that I wanted to fucking punch them. These children.
This is how shaken baby syndrome came about because literally, I mean, like, obviously it's horrible, but then you think about how like alone and like how young parents have been at times.
Yeah. And they can be driven to insanity.
And they literally don't know what to do to stop the baby from crying. And so they shake the baby.
Right.
I mean,
no,
it exists
it's not,
for a reason.
Yeah. And I get in that moment, you're right. So, but what I was curious about is if it would, obviously I wouldn't get mad at the baby if she was screaming. And I knew that.
No, of course.
I wanted to see if I tensed up. If I was like uneasy, you know, because I was like, I'd be interested to see if the baby like screams and stuff. If I'm uneasy, because if I genuinely am not, I feel like I'd be ready for motherhood.
And you weren't?
I was so calm. I didn't even tense my shoulders. Didn't even because I was very.
It's also not your baby, and you know you're getting rid of it in an hour
for sure. But I could have seen a situation where, like years ago, before I worked on myself, that obviously I wouldn't have been mad at the baby, but I would have been like, it's okay. Like I would have done something like that.
Yeah.
And I genuinely was like, all right, this is going to be a fun challenge. I want to figure out what calms you. It's okay. And I was talking to her. I was like, it's hard being here. I know. I'm so sorry. Your parents are downstairs. It's scary. I get it. Like I wasn't even like when I'm annoyed. Yeah. Most times people know it. I really try hard to hide it, but it's impossible for me to hide it. It takes over my whole body. I fucking hate it. And so I knew that like if I was a little bit uneasy with this baby crying, I would be able to tell right away because I know myself. Mm-hmm. And I not only I got calmer. Like I did that thing where I
knew you had to be calm for her.
Yeah, because her nervous system needed to calm down, and so it wasn't like I don't know. I took that as a good sign. And by the end, I started playing Sam Cooke because I was like, I don't know, I feel like Sam Cooke would be good for a baby because
babies love Sam Cooke. Everyone knows
most beautiful voice in the world. And then I played Jeff Buckley. Hallelujah, and I sang it to her, and I watched this baby hear Jeff Buckley probably the first time. She's only been around 2 months, and her face was literally like, wait, what's this shit? Like she just like came alive. I'm like, yes.
Now our friends have to do a full concert anytime the baby's crying because you set the standard.
Yeah. So when they walked in to the apartment, because I knew when they were going to come back, so I unlocked the door so there was no knocking, you know, so they could just walk in.
And I'm sure knowing you really didn't want that baby to be screaming when they came back.
No, I didn't. But if she was, she was. You know, you know, it's not. I know it's not my fault, but but when they came back, she fell asleep on my chest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so not only was she not screaming, she fell asleep on me.
Did you tell them what happened before?
Yes, I was like, she was crying. After you left, it was Scream City, and then she just calmed down. You're seeing this, I'm cheating with what you're seeing.
Right.
I told her, but I mean, it makes sense because she's never been left alone like that.
Sure.
But I was like, the fact that didn't even faze me a little bit, I didn't even feel one iota of like tension.
Yeah.
That was a good sign.
That's good.
Yeah, still want a baby.
So how many weeks in a row has this been? 3? 3.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't make the decision just yet.
No. God, no. Jesus Christ. I'd rather not have a baby than have a baby now.
I'm like, what do we think would be the appropriate time? No, not age. Then what do you think the appropriate amount of time that you need to consider having a baby? Also,
well, my rule with tattoos is 1 year. If I want the tattoo,
you have to think about it.
Yes, if I want the tattoo for 1 year just as badly, I get it.
Also, where'd you get the number 38 for? Like from like last attempts city? If the baby needs a sibling, I have a year left before I'm 40.
No, I mean I would also adopt, but I think if I'm gonna have a baby like in my body and not adopt or do a surrogate or something, because again, who knows? I might not be able to have a baby. We don't know.
Right.
But if I did have a baby myself, I would say I wouldn't want to be past 40. Right. Just for me.
Right. Wait, you're 36?
35.
Oh, you're 35. Okay, I always forget.
So 3 more years. It would be 3 more years.
It's 88,
to get pregnant at 36.
It's 35.
That means I could have the baby at 37.
Right. I always forget. I'm like, because I'm like, there is a time. So there is a time every year when I'm 3 years older than you. But it is only, then it quickly, okay. Yeah. Because I was like, what way is that? All right. Because I'm 2.5 years older than you.
Right. Yes. Exactly. And so for 6 months, you're older. 6 months. Yeah.
Got it.
So yeah, still want a baby. Not now, but I still do. Okay, guys. Also, after you go to Guys We Fcked, after you follow us and follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to us and follow our social media, you know we have YouTube. If you're watching this, you obviously know we have YouTube. We have a fucking clips channel. We have a clips channel just of clips of the podcast. And I got to say, I've been on Instagram lately, and the times that I get washed away and forget time exists on Instagram, what I'm always doing 99% of the time is watching our stuff. We're fucking hilarious.
That's so funny.
We're really funny.
She's been doing this for years, guys.
Yeah, no, ever since Girls on Girls and stuff. Well, honestly, ever since Is It Hot Enough For You?
Is It Hot Enough For You?
One of our first pieces of art.
That's a classic.
Is it hot enough for you? I don't know.
It's a fucking classic.
You know who's hot enough and needs to be she's so hot?
Today's guest.
Yes. She is incredible. She's making her second appearance on the show. So much has happened since she was last on the show. CBS has named her one of the top 5 standout comics in New York City. She had a fucking viral COVID, and not viral in the bad way, viral in the good way. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our dear friend and colleague, Robyn Schall.